Nobody in their shop was wearing a mask. About a week and a half ago, I posted on Facebook about the worst disc golf store experience I have ever had. You know, regardless of your skill level, going to a disc shop is awesome. There's thousands of discs there, and you get to feel what each one is like. Now, depending on COVID rules, you might have to like sanitize your hands, wear gloves or whatever, but still, you don't get that online. You can't actually grab the disc online, get a closer look at it before you buy it. And that's just one of the awesome things about disc golf shop. But this experience at this disc golf shop was far from good. And honestly, I'm not even scratching the surface with my post when I say they bait and switched me and they did not wear masks and they treated us poorly. Don't go there. That is like the nicest thing I could have said to these people. Let me tell you my side of the story. So this is in Clearwater, Florida, and it says it's the biggest disc golf shop in the world. When I came in the store, it was kind of like a mini warehouse, and this was actually one of the largest disc golf shops I've ever seen. I've never seen another disc golf shop like it. And at least in Michigan, for actual shops, you don't really see a shop of this size. I mean, there are some decent shops around here, but this one is like just one step bigger than those. So me and my dad come to the disc golf shop. We've got our masks on, and you know, we're looking around for a little bit, and then a manager or assistant comes over and offers us a tour, and we're like, yeah, sure, because we've never been there before. She walks us around, shows us the shelves, shows us like where each brand is and stuff. And then the final section she showed us was the used disc section. Now keep in mind, during this tour, the manager or assistant or whoever it was did not mention that some things on the shelf with the other discs that are for sale are not for sale, okay? That's gonna be important later in the story. So me and my dad are looking through the used disc section, and if you don't already know from some of the disc reviews and stuff on my channel, I personally like older discs that are like rare or unusual, and sometimes I trade them, sometimes I sell them, and a lot of times I end up buying them for myself. And that's just one of the things I like to do for fun. So we're looking through the used disc section. I pull out, you know, a small handful, and they have a lot to look through, right? They've really priced everything except for maybe like one or two discs I pulled out. And, you know, I found some cool stuff. And we get kind of towards the end of the used disc section, and I see these boxes. On the side of the boxes, it says bin 1-4. Now, I don't know what that means, but I thought it was like used discs that they didn't have time to stock yet. And I was like, well, I can probably go through these and then bring it to the counter and see how much it's, you know, it's going to cost me. So I pull out a 4X Force, Paul Macbeth Force, out of the box. And then about like a minute or two later, someone comes by and says, did you find this disc in the box? And I was like, yeah, and then they take it away. Now, I thought they took it away because, you know, they're not going to sell me something they didn't price yet. And I can totally understand that, right? Like, I thought it was part of the used disc section, and they didn't mention anything to me during the tour. So I thought it was fair game, but when they took it away, I stopped looking through those boxes. Me and my dad just put them back. We didn't know. Anyways, we go through all the used discs. I'm looking through other sections of the store, and, you know, I found some pre-flight number Star Sharks. Now, one Star Shark pre-flight number, like brand new condition, is going for around like 40 bucks. And I think that is without shipping or with shipping. So, I mean, these are expensive discs, but it's not like it's the most collectible disc of all time per se. So I found 8 pre-flight number Star Sharks, and I was like, sweet, this is awesome. This is one of the things I've been looking for, because I looked through the used disc section. I didn't find any CE plastic like I thought I was going to find at the largest disc golf store in the world. You know, I didn't find a lot of stuff that I thought maybe they would have had, and that was okay. Like, not every store is gonna have exactly what I want, especially when it's not in production anymore. So anyways, I grabbed this whole rack of pre-flight number Star Sharks. I think it was about 8 of them. I keep looking around the store. I pick out 4 discs for myself, found some pre-flight number Star Crows. I come up to the counter, and the person who gave us the tour is ringing us up. And the pre-flight number Star Sharks didn't have price tags on them. Not all the discs I grabbed had price tags on them, but she did mention to me, you know, Star Plastic is about $16 each. And then she starts ringing me up, and there's like a total on the cash register screen or whatever like that. And just to let you guys know, I brought about $400 cash with me because I didn't really know what to expect at this store. I was ready to buy whatever. And once I'm all rang up, you know, I'm bringing out my money ready to pay, The owner comes over and says right away, hey, I noticed that you're interested in these out of production plastics and whatnot. And I didn't really think much of it, but then right away he's like, okay, well, I can't give them to you for $16 each. And that is after everything is rung up. This is kind of where the bait and switch comes from. Right away, I was like, okay. And I was like, let's take care of the other discs before we talk about this. Because I don't mind making some sort of deal, right? I don't mind making some sort of deal. So I buy the 4 discs and I question about this Pro Leopard that has no stamp on it anymore, has ink on the back. He says it's going to be $10. So I get the feeling right away that this guy is just trying to grab every cent he can from me just because I'm some sort of collector and I know what I'm looking for. Another disc I was going to buy for myself but didn't end up buying was this like 4 out of 10 condition Pre-Flight Number Pro Wraith. Flight Number Pro Wraith is definitely one of my favorite discs ever, and it was really beat up, but it had no cracks or like holes through it. And I was just thinking to myself, you know, this might be something cool to throw. Maybe I'll put it in my bag, whatever. He charges me $10 for that too. So I'm just like, whatever, that's not worth $10 at all because I can get a used one on Play It Again for like $10 and it's in way better condition. So I just passed on that. And whatever, maybe he thought they were worth more, so whatever, that's cool. We get to talking about the discs, and then as soon as I start offering a price, I said I'll buy all of them for $18 each, right? Like, I think when I'm buying in bulk, I'm doing a store a favor because obviously the owner bought them for maybe like $9, $10 each when they bought them in bulk whenever they got them, right? That's usually how, you know, disc golf shops make their money. They buy a lot of discs in bulk for way less than what they're selling them for. And, you know, they're making X amount of money per sale. And honestly, that's fine because discs aren't really that expensive. So I'm thinking I'm doing him a favor and, you know, I throw out an offer to him and he's like laughing at me. He's like just trying to get every single dollar out of me because he's saying stuff like, oh, well, I thought you were going to offer at least 20 minimum. As soon as he said that, you know, I don't mind making like some sort of tough deal. There's 2 other customers that are like waiting behind me. Like they don't mind waiting. I can tell they're far away. They've got their masks on. They're waiting behind me. And he's like out of nowhere, okay, I'll take care of these guys first and then we can keep talking. I was like, okay, but honestly, that's kind of rude to have other customers just like come in front of someone when you're making like some sort of deal in your shop. Anyways, like 3 minutes later, we're talking again, and he gets to the point where he's like, okay, I've decided that I'm not gonna let one of these go for less than 25 each. So we've gone from $16 each, rung up on the counter, I'm ready to pay, now to $25 each just because I know what I'm looking for. And I can guarantee you, if I only pulled one of those sharks out of the rack and pretended like I didn't know what it was and thought it was a normal shark, I bet you they would have gave it to me for 16 bucks. But since I'm some sort of collector and I do that for fun or whatever, he's gonna charge me way more money. And during this entire time, just to let you guys know, nobody in their shop was wearing a mask. Nobody was sanitizing anything. They were not taking COVID seriously at all. And I felt very disrespected by that since I was wearing a mask for their safety and mine. And not to mention, every customer that came in the store was also wearing a mask. Now in Florida, the rules are a bit different than Michigan, but still you would think a high contact shop like that would be wearing masks. After all, the whole point of coming to a disc golf store is so you can feel how different discs feel and like figure out which ones you really want to buy. Now, I can't remember the entire conversation I had with the owner while in the shop, but he had a really nasty attitude. It was kind of like, I know you are, but what am I? But this guy is like 55, 60 years old, and he was always contradicting himself. He was trying to seem like really smart or something, and he was just trying to seem like, you know, he knows what's best and whatnot, and that since I'm some dumb collector or something, that it's okay for him to charge extra. And honestly, I have talked to a lot of people who sell and buy discs and whatnot. I've talked to a lot of people where I don't make a deal and I felt like they should have taken the deal or whatever. And honestly, a Star Shark is $40. So if someone was really interested in buying one for 40 bucks, I can see why that's okay. But you know, I'm buying 8 of them. I was trying to strike some sort of deal. And just to let you know, the owner had no idea what these discs were worth. He kept asking me, you know, what is this disc worth, blah, blah, blah. And because I wouldn't tell him, obviously because I'm trying to make a deal, he just kept like pumping up the numbers because he knew that I had some interest in it and I knew what kind of disc it was and I knew more about it than maybe he did or something. I'm not really sure what was going on there. But anyways, I ended up buying 4 discs and I still have them. I think they're pretty cool. I was like, all right, we're not gonna make a deal and blah, blah, blah. I ended up walking out of the store and me and my dad Ubered there. Like I said, I'm visiting from out of town. We didn't rent a car or anything and we figured Uber's cheaper. About 2 minutes after leaving the shop, because it got kind of heated in there and like I said, the owner was kind of childish. It was kind of like, you know, a middle schooler who plays Fortnite and wants to scam kids on Fortnite. I mean, honestly, I would see no difference between the owner and a kid like that. So he comes out about only 2 minutes later. We're not even standing in front of the store. We're standing like next to the other shop next door or whatever. And he comes out and he's like, oh, do you guys not have a ride or something? And we tell him we Ubered over here. And then he stays outside and continues questioning us about like why we got upset or whatever. And the main thing is like they rang up the discs for a price and I'm ready to pay. And then he's coming and just trying to get as much money as he possibly can from me when I'm kind of like doing them a favor. I'm buying the whole rack of discs that are not easy to sell. Like maybe these discs are rare, but they're definitely not easy to sell. Like if I was gonna sell them myself, it would probably take a little bit. And I told him after shipping and everything, I'm only making like $3 to $5 on each disc because not all of them were in perfect condition. And, you know, he didn't really care about any of that. But some things that really stuck out to me is that he was kind of like trying to instigate my dad to like fight him. It was really weird because I was like trying to make a deal or whatever. You know, he's asking for my age or whatever. And he's like, really, Dad? Really? And like getting in my dad's face and everything. And honestly, I wouldn't have been that surprised if my dad just like tried to knock him out or something because it was getting to that point and I was just trying to keep calm because I knew my dad was kind of getting upset. But then things cooled down for a little bit and then the owner tells me straight up to my face that as soon as you guys walked in the store, I thought you guys were up to no good. I saw you looking through the used discs and you're looking for the gems, right? Like when is that a problem for people who own a disc golf shop? It should be a place for anyone who plays disc golf, right? It should be for beginners and for, you know, pros who like to play the game and look for cool discs every once in a while. Why is it a problem that I'm going through your used disc section trying to find some sort of deal or something that I personally like to throw or whatever? It seems really unprofessional and very childish of him to even say something like that. Next thing he says is, I saw you guys looking through that box of discs that were off limits. Now, first off, these boxes, these are the ones that are labeled like bin 1-4 or whatever that I was talking about earlier, were right next to all the used discs. I thought they were just used discs that didn't get posted yet or like that, you know, you could go through and then bring them up to the counter or something like that. That's honestly what I thought it was. And he said it's the lost and found for the Cliff Stevens Park and some other park. And I was like, well, we were never told that. And I was like, that must have been some miscommunication on everyone's part because we had no idea. Now, just let that sink in for a moment. This is the lost and found for the local disc golf parts. The boxes are marked bin 1-4 next to the used disc section. Honestly, I would not be surprised if these people are just wiping the ink, as much ink as they could, and then just putting them in the used disc section and reselling them. Because why would they not be in the back room? And why would it not be labeled lost and found? I had no idea what the heck these boxes were. I thought they were part of the used discs. The least you could do is mark it lost and found. If it was marked lost and found, I would have never gone through it because obviously those people are going to call or whatever, or the shop is going to call those people. It just makes no sense to me. And at this point, the owner is still outside, you know, pretty much bothering us. We're not really even in front of the store anymore. And he just keeps talking to us and trying to get some sort of reaction out of us, you know, because we were a bit upset over the whole situation. And he pretty much comes out and says, and I paraphrase this, that he only wants customers in the store who are going to buy production discs, not out of production stuff. He doesn't want collectors. He doesn't want anything like that in his store because the only way his store survives is pretty much him preying on people who buy the production discs because that's where he's making the most money. That's pretty much what he said to me, and I thought it was really sad that he said that. And it was just like someone you wouldn't want to deal with. I couldn't really deal with it anymore. I was so happy when the Uber finally showed up and we could leave. But anyways, guys, I hope this sheds some light on the whole situation. Honestly, if you go to this store, I'm not going to mention the store's name, but you probably know from the video footage, from the pictures, if you're in that area, just buy some discs online or go to a different store. This store is not worth your time. These people are just hawks and trying to get you. The owner also mentioned that some of his discs are the cheapest price around. Some of the discs that he had were Paul Macbeth Innova Destroyers, Thunderbirds, Novas, and he was selling all those for $40 each. Now, I don't personally know how much the Novas sell for, but I know Paul Macbeth Destroyers used can go for less than 10 bucks, and they're about 20 to 25 new online. Thunderbirds about 20 bucks. Now, Novas might be fair price, I don't know, but one of the things I noticed while at the counter buying some discs is that some of the discs costed me a couple dollars more than they usually cost. Like, I got a bottom stamp destroyer because I was just trying to see if people are interested in that sort of thing, and it cost me 18 bucks, and they said star discs are $16 each. And I got like a 111 gram DX Rock because I thought it was so cool. I like light discs sometimes. And they charged me like 13 or 14 bucks for it. I don't even remember, but those had no price tags. And they were kind of like quiet about it, but I noticed like after when we left the store that I got overcharged a little bit. I don't know if that was a mistake on their part, maybe a mistake on my part. Maybe those discs are actually worth that much in all other stores. But it was just kind of weird that he would say that his store has the cheapest prices. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at here is that you should really just avoid this store at all costs. This was very childish behavior. I mean, to leave your store to keep instigating for some type of reaction or some type of fight or something like that. And the owner is like laughing at us anytime we're upset or something like that. Like it was clear that he was just trying to get some sort of reaction out of us. It was just really childish and unprofessional. But anyways, I hope this clears up any confusion with the Facebook posts and whatnot. Like I said, those posts were just scratching the surface, and I didn't even show the footage I showed in this video. Anyways, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be posting some course vlogs coming up. Really cool courses in Florida, to be honest with you. And guys, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to comment down below, if you owned a disc golf store, would you be wearing a mask? Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good one. Peace.